Oh, hi there! Doraemon has some of the most interesting lost media that's among the most sought after in the lost media community. But at the same time, the Doraemon franchise is pretty obscure in English-speaking countries. If you're not a fan of the series, I hope to spark an interest. And if you are a fan, I want to share with you some of the most obscure media the Gadget Cat from the future has to offer. From a lost TV series to lost movies, a short film, video games, TV special, music, and countless lost dubs, Doraemon has it all, along with what is, in my opinion, the most hilarious discovery in all of lost media. I hope you enjoy the lost media of Doraemon.
Doraemon, Doraemon, Doraemon.
Doraemon, 1973. The Doraemon franchise is best known for the 1979 series and its 2005 reboot that's still running to this day, along with its over 40 movies that account for the highest grossing anime film franchise of all time. But before Doraemon became a media juggernaut, it started off as a manga and a now mostly lost anime. Airing in 1973 on the Nippon TV network, produced by NTV Video, the series, now known as Doraemon 73, aired for 6 months from April 1st to September 30th for a total of 26 episodes, each with 2 segments. The show was successful and even considered for another season, but due to internal issues like the Nippon TV president having disappeared during the TV show's run, not being heard of again until 1986 when he was arrested trying to smuggle guns into the Philippines. With these kind of issues, the studio soon fell into bankruptcy and was dissolved. The Doraemon staff was left unpaid for their work, and to pay off their debts, studio assets were sold, including film reels. Unsold production materials were either thrown away or burned. This has led to the false claim that destroyed materials include the Doraemon episodes, but Doraemon production chief Masumi Jun debunked this, confirming that it was just production materials, not footage that was destroyed. Even though the episodes seem to have survived this purge, because of the short runtime and limited reruns in an era where TV recording hardware wasn't common, the series was lost. By the 90s, various episodes began to emerge. In 1995, episodes 18 and 20 through 26 were found in the archives of Studio Rush. In 1998, a recording of episode Crazy Stomach Clock was found by a fan. In 2004, an anonymous user on an old InfoSeek blog dedicated to obscure media posted a recording of Doraemon's opening and end credits. And the previously mentioned series production chief, Masumi Jun, has uncovered a number of full episodes, segments, and clips, including the 1972 pilot episode. Along with full episodes and segments that have been found, a number of clips, stills, audio, and scripts have emerged. But of the found Doraemon media from the 73 series, nothing can top the episode 14 segment, Love This Camera, that was found in the most unusual way. A highly cultured individual was perusing their favorite adult Japanese tapes, likely for, research purposes, when in the background of a particularly voyeuristic scene for a few fleeting seconds, if you look past the birthday-suited woman, you can see a brief clip of a lost Doraemon episode playing on the TV. I can't believe how amazing this discovery is. The series was never released on home media, so the adult movie was filmed as the episode of Doraemon was airing in the 70s, with the name of the segment that was playing translating to Love This Camera, and some mad lad not only recognizing the TV was playing Doraemon, but actually realizing that it was a lost episode. Absolutely unreal. Even with these fantastic discoveries, 9 of the 52 segments are currently completely lost, with no clips, stills, scripts, or promotional material of any kind having emerged. And when we talk about the found episodes of Doraemon, there's a catch. We know full episodes and segments are in the possession of Masumi Jun and Studio Rush, but they can't release them. And the one time Jun released a clip, he got into legal trouble. Usually when media is found but withheld from the public, I still consider it lost, since there's a high chance of single copy media being lost again or just destroyed. But in this case, where both Jun and Studio Rush are interested in releasing the lost episodes, I am certain it's just a matter of time before the episodes see the light of day. As for the remaining lost episodes, we can only hope they've been preserved elsewhere, waiting for their day in the spotlight.
Albert and Sydney, a boy and his cat.
The Adventures of Albert and Sydney. When it comes to the lost dubs of Doraemon, just like the 1973 episodes, they're difficult to post online and usually cannot be released or re-aired due to licensing issues, making preservation difficult, resulting in a huge number of Doraemon's various dubs being lost. One of the main reasons Doraemon is relatively obscure in the United States is the lack of an official English dub until 2014, over 40 years after the anime's first airing. But this was almost very different, with an English dub being made as early as 1985, but never making its way to the United States. Instead, it seems the very first official English dub of Doraemon was released exclusively to the small island nation of Barbados, renamed The Adventures of Albert and Sydney. In 2004, on the TFP forums, user Melee2000 posted about an English version of Doraemon called Albert and Sydney, recalling a few lyrics to the theme song and how all the text was in Japanese, though the audio was in English. This seems to be the first online mention of the series. Initially, no one could corroborate Melee's story until 2008 when a few commenters from Barbados confirmed that Melee2000 wasn't crazy, elaborating that it aired on the station CBC between the 80s and 90s. Melee2000 never responded to the 4-year late replies on his post, and to this day might not know that he's the internet's first mention of Barbados's Albert and Sydney. Through some digging, a 1987 issue of Television Radio Age magazine was uncovered, showing that the dub was of the 1979 Doraemon series and was distributed by Sinar, a company based in Montreal, Canada, airing as 150 10-minute episodes that ultimately only aired on Saturdays in Barbados. It's believed that the series was originally meant for a US audience, to air on TBS since the company acquired the rights to 50 episodes in 1985, but ultimately, TBS decided against airing the show, along with the Sinar-produced dub of Ultra 7. Its original intent for a US market explains the dub's existence, but the most confusing and still unsolved part of the lost dub is how and why it aired exclusively in Barbados. I'm assuming Sinar wanted to recoup their losses after the show wasn't picked up by TBS, but why only Barbados and not any other neighboring countries, or even Canada where the dub was made? In February 2020, musician Jérôme Langlois revealed himself to be the composer for the show's theme song, an original creation just for the dub. In September of the same year, Langlois uploaded all footage of the dub in his possession, including his original theme song and various excerpts from the show. This is an absolutely amazing breakthrough for a piece of lost media that until now existed only in the memories of children growing up in the 80s and 90s on Barbados. But there is still a huge amount of the dub that remains lost. Doraemon 05, the UK Boomerang dub. Between 2015 and 2016, Boomerang UK aired a handful of British dubs of the 2005 Doraemon series. Commissioned by Luck International and made by Red Angel Media, the dub is known for being more faithful to the original Japanese than the American dub, with only a few minor changes. The 26-episode run is currently lost, with only a few episodes having been found, but this dub in particular has a very good chance of being rediscovered, since the same company made a Shin-Chan dub that was lost that has since been found after being released on the Nintendo 3DS eShop in 2016, meaning that Red Angel Media or Luck International likely have the lost 2005 Doraemon British dub in their possession. The Fuse dub and Carpe Diem's Nuts. In the early 2000s, Fuse Entertainment, also known as Unbound Creative Inc., licensed the 1979 Doraemon series through TV Asai and created a pitch pilot of their dub in hopes of getting it picked up by a network, but it ultimately never was. The unaired dub existed in obscurity, only being mentioned in Fuse Entertainment's projects page and their director Ken Doerr's profile on the company website. But in 2017, an unusual development occurred that even further confused the search. On October 22nd, Reddit user Carpe Diem's Nuts, fantastic username by the way, posted on the r/anime subreddit. So my dad once mentioned he'd voiced an anime in the 90s. I just found this, with a picture of a VHS titled Doraemon, the finished item. Next to the title is a creative logo, which some believe could be the logo for Unbound Creative Inc. Carpe Diem would upload a short clip of the dub and claims it was commissioned by MTV UK, which makes sense since the dub uses heavy British accents. The issue is that even though the VHS has the creative logo, both Unbound Creative Inc. and Fuse Entertainment are American companies who, to our knowledge, were trying to make a Doraemon dub for an American audience, and Carpe Diem's dub was obviously meant for a British audience. At this point, it's unclear if the two dubs, the one by Fuse Entertainment and the one in the possession of Carpe Diem's Nuts, are the same. I was recently able to get in touch with Carpe Diem, so hopefully we can release his dub and maybe the full episode will have credits or logos that can confirm or deny that the two dubs are one and the same. Stand By Me Doraemon Filipino English dub. In 2014, Toho released the movie Stand By Me Doraemon to widespread success, being the year's highest grossing anime movie and winning Animation of the Year at the Japanese Academy Awards. Bang Zoom Entertainment handled the English dub of the movie, but apparently the Philippines received 2 dubs that were shown in theaters, one for each of their official languages, Tagalog and English. But the English version, that's supposedly different than the one created by Bang Zoom Entertainment, has never been seen again after its theatrical release. The only footage to prove its existence is a trailer that clearly has a different dub than the widely released English version.
Yahoo! Doraemon mission in rescuing Mimi is brilliantly accomplished!
The English dubs made in Asia. There are at least 3 English dubs of Doraemon's various movies and TV series that were made in Asia. The English XD dub of Nobita's Great Adventure in the South Seas is readily available, but the other 2 known English dubs made in Malaysia and Singapore are both partially lost. Various pieces of Doraemon media was dubbed by Malaysian company Speedy Video, a company that specializes in low-budget, unauthorized English dubs, infamous in the Dragon Ball community for their shoddy work.
Now I see. Like human beings dislike the sound of rubbing glass, probably the sound wave of the whistle, which a human being blows might echo strongly, irritating the ears of the Namek people.
These Doraemon dubs were distributed through Asia on VCDs, a now obsolete precursor to DVDs, that were popular in various Asian countries as a low-cost alternative to DVDs and VHSs that were especially good for bootlegging. Throughout the years, the search for these lost dubs has been fruitful, with 7 VCD Doraemon movies and TV shows having been found. Of the known missing Speedy Video dubs, 3 VCDs are still lost: Animal Space, Monotaro Nobita, and the Magic Mini Loud Hailer. The other lost English dubs that were made in Asia come from Odex, who seem to have legally licensed the franchise. The company used VoiceOver Unlimited to make their dubs, releasing their version on Channel I from 2002 to 2003, also airing on Kids Central according to their website. I can find absolutely no footage of this dub, though a number of the voice and production staff have confirmed their involvement. When reaching out to Odex about the dub, they make it very clear they don't handle distribution at all, meaning they are unlikely to have any copies. The dubs were directed by Christian Lee and Chuck Powers. Lee doesn't have any copies, and Chuck Powers has never been able to be contacted about the lost dubs. Doraemon Robot War. Moving away from dubs, in 1983, animation house Cuckoo's Nest Studio, now known as Wang Film Productions, released an unauthorized bootleg Doraemon movie, Doraemon Robot War. Unauthorized movies and TV series are fairly common in the studio's country of Taiwan, but what sets the movie apart from others is that it was made by a renowned studio. The studio was created by James Wang and Jerry Smith in 1978 as an overseas animation outlet for Hanna-Barbera. The company would go on to work on classic animation like Hey Arnold, My Little Pony, Rugrats, Rocko's Modern Life, and the Disney classics The Little Mermaid and The Lion King, just to name a few. Why a studio of this caliber would make an illegal Doraemon movie is beyond me. Whatever their reasoning behind the project, a combination of poor box office performance and the movie being made without the consent of the rights holders, Doraemon Robot War is now entirely lost, save for one single clip. In 2012, a man named Masoon Chang posted a 30-second clip of the movie on Facebook, but took it down because people were stealing his video and putting it on YouTube, and has never released the rest of it, if he even has the entire movie. Chang claims that their dad bought it on VHS in the early 80s in Taiwan. If this is true, there are definitely more copies lying around, and this is currently our best lead. Ken-chan's Adventure. Specially made in collaboration with the National Welfare Foundation of the Physically and Mentally Handicapped, Ken-chan's Adventure was shown in 1980 and 1981 for Japan's International Year of Disabled Persons. The story followed Ken, a new kid in Nobita's class who has limited use of his legs, typically using a wheelchair. Ken collects butterflies but has never been able to catch one by himself. With Doraemon's help, they all travel back in time, for some reason, and help Ken catch his first butterfly. The movie seems to have been successful. The character Ken-chan became the mascot for the National Welfare Foundation, and the story was adapted into a children's book, though heavily abridged. The movie was screened a handful of times in theaters and aired on TV on October 5th, 1981, but soon fell into obscurity, and for years the book was the closest thing we had. In 2014, a Yahoo auction was held for the film, and there's nothing to indicate this was fake. In 2018, a previously unseen still was posted to Twitter, likely coming from either the National Welfare Foundation or the winner of the Yahoo auction. All signs point to this film still existing and will hopefully be released or leaked someday. In a Thrilling Solar Car. In 1992, the Doraemon short In a Thrilling Solar Car was shown alongside Doraemon, Nobita and the Kingdom of Clouds, and 21emon to Space, the Barefoot Princess. The short was 5 to 10 minutes long, following a sort of chase through time involving the history of cars, ending in speculation that someday in the future, cars might be pollution-free and run on solar energy. Besides this flimsy plot synopsis, we know almost nothing about the short because for whatever reason, it's never been released on home media with the other films. The only materials we have from the short are the theme song, Harmony of the Stars by Yukuhara, magazine stills, a book about the full movie that has a small ad for the short, storyboards, and a 45-second trailer for the movie that has a small clip of the short. This trailer was removed from YouTube, but it's probably still around the internet somewhere. The short was popular enough to have a fully functional version of the movie's solar car made, along with a model kit version of the car for a special event. This event also had a 4-minute short film to go along with it called Doraemon, The Sun is a Friend, but this is not the lost short. Surprisingly, the short was screened on February 15th, 2020 during the month-long Doraemon Movie Festival, but is yet to be released outside of theaters, and I can't find any bootlegged recordings of the screening, not that I would ever watch or condone such a thing. Doraemon's Lost English Songs. In 1980, Nippon Columbia released 2 Doraemon vinyl singles in Japanese stores. Each single contained 2 songs, an A-side and a B-side. Each of these 2 songs had 2 separate versions, a Japanese edition and an English edition, made to help Japanese kids learn English. Both Japanese versions and one of the English singles are easy to find, but the second single, containing the tracks Draw Dorami-chan and A Week in Our Time Machine, are missing. The single was available on Snow Record's website, where they have a number of photos of the single, but the record itself is out of stock. The Snow Record's blog also has pictures of the record's accessories, like a step-by-step guide on how to draw Dorami-chan, and sheet music for both songs, but the important stuff has been blurred out. Lost Media Wiki user Mario Tanuki12 uncovered song lyrics for Draw Dorami-chan, and that the tracks were also sold on cassette tape. This is currently the only information we have on these 2 tracks. The Lost Virtual Boy game. There are a huge number of unreleased games for Nintendo's ill-fated console, the Virtual Boy, so many so they'll probably get their own video someday. The console was rushed, having to be downgraded, and ultimately pushed out the door in 1995, unfinished, in order for the company to focus on the upcoming Nintendo 64 that was released the following year. As a result, the console was poorly designed, caused headaches, dizziness, and eye strain, was only able to display red and black, and even though it was marketed as a portable console, it was bulky, needed a table, and had a short battery life. The Virtual Boy was such a massive failure that even though a number of games were ready to ship, they were cancelled. Only 22 Virtual Boy games were released. One of these completed but unreleased games was Doraemon, Nobita no Doki Doki Obake Land, roughly translating to Doraemon Nobita's Pounding Heart Ghost Land. Developed by Epoch, planned for a March 1996 release, the game was far enough along that several publications had released full reviews. Based on these reviews, we have a few stills of the game and know a few of the gameplay details. You'd be able to control 5 playable characters over what looks like standard 2D side-scrolling levels and roller coaster sections that would make use of the console's 3D technology. When the Virtual Boy was quietly discontinued in 1996, so was the Doraemon video game. The game has never been referenced in any other piece of Doraemon media and was never ported to another console. No footage or gameplay trailer has ever been found. I'd like to think this game still exists somewhere, but after 25 years with no updates, this one very well could be lost forever. Thank you so much for watching. This video was suggested by fans, so if you have an idea for a future video, let me know in the comments or on Twitter at LostMediaMike, and feel free to make fun of my inconsistent pronunciation of Doraemon. This is Mike with All Things Lost. See you soon.